For me, if the most important element of my portrait is beauty, the second most important element is story. I only get one frame. So I want to use the place and where I put my subject to add new important information. A portrait of a person on a white background, it doesn't always tell that much. Like if I took a picture of a master carpenter and put it on a white background, what from a white background could you tell? But if I take that same shot and put that person in a dusty shop, it builds just a much stronger story into the image. In the same way that I start with the person, when I arrive at a place or a location, I want to look around and I want to see what I like. I want to start by taking a look and seeing where the light is. This sounds cheesy, but I just hold my hand up. Usually it's the back of my hand. And I say, do I like the light here? What's this look like? Ooh, I like the fall off on the shadow there. I want to find the spots in the room that look best. And light is so finicky that like right here may be differently lit than right here. So I want to see where my little pockets are. I think one of the most common areas where I see this is with photographing outside. What I found is that if I want to shoot in shade, the tendency is to like go underneath the middle of the tree. Well, underneath the middle of the tree, there's often these totally different color hues. But if you move to the very edge of the shadow, so you're still in the shadow, you get a completely different and most often really beautiful light tone at the very edge of that shadow. So the same place, if I'm in this room, I may find that moving myself over a little bit or moving my subject here and here, the light changes so much and it becomes this really beautiful moment here, where maybe here it just didn't read the same way that I was hoping for. Next, when I put my subject into the environment, I want them to move naturally. You'll see here when we start shooting with Gwen is that I'll ask her, like, where would you naturally be in this room? Where would you naturally sit? And then maybe once she's sitting, we'll say, okay, but we need to lengthen the leg out or something. But I always want to start with moving in the space the way that the space was designed. I think about my local internet company had like a commercial years ago that was a girl playing guitar, and she was playing a right-handed guitar, left-handed, and she was holding it wrong. And as a guitar player, that drove me crazy. And so I want to make sure that anything that I do, or anytime I'm using the space, I want to make sure that I'm using it the correct way. So if it's an area where, like, I don't know anything about golf. If I was shooting a golfer and the light looked better from the left side, but they're a right-handed golfer, I would never ask them to shoot it to hit the ball left-handed. That wouldn't make any sense. So I always want to be intellectually honest in my photo. And often I'm going to trust the subject to bring that realness and honesty into the photo.